Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX discussion. And a lot of things going on out here, and be thankful for our families, brothers and sisters, generals, who are being encouraging out here and giving good information to keep us aware, keep us strong, and not being blind by, how it's going these days. Right is bad and bad is good, so got to really sift through this life, and that great divine is drawing that line right down the middle, the wrong from the right, as right as we can possibly be. I know we hear that word righteous a lot, but it's just a means of coming up with ideas and solutions of ways to better oneself so we can live our golden years the best way we can. And always and forever, brother, sister, family, do things to remind us that we are human. We are not no fucking robots. You can give in to this shit if you want to, but guess what's gonna get snatched right from our body? And I'm not the only one that think this. Our soul, brothers and sisters. So ask yourself a question. How much do you appreciate your soul? Do you pay attention to your soul? Do we study our soul? Mind, body, and soul. Do we think that great divine that we even breathe in life? Don't get lost in superficial things and petty things. Political gossip, celebrity gossip. No, we need to pinpoint the important things, most of all ourselves, because we got our core strong and firm, and be that lighthouse in the middle of a storm and stand bold as a general. Think of the fires we have blazed through. So a lot of us that are in the space we're in, whether we have peace or some challenges, if you have a hinkling of righteous in your soul, you or we are in the right space, and keep learning, and we don't have to be on no platform or no podium to be a teacher. We can be a teacher right where we are. It always began with a righteous thought, like our powerful ancestors did, brother or sister, far and near, especially the ones that were generals, that wasn't taking no shit before all this social media crap and attention and all this bull. You got to see through this shit. Again, be like my banner here. See how it's in the center and everything around it. It's the only thing there. That's how we got to be. Visualizing our mind mentally, physically, and of course, spiritually. And, block off all distractions so we can see right through like a lighthouse. Be the lighthouse in the middle of chaos, a storm. There's so many things out here in this hyperactive world, but if you can see and you are focused, as I read on the podcast yesterday, if you have cultivated that divine focus, especially within, thank yourself, because for some of us it's not an easy space to get to, but we got a lot of lighthouses out here in our families. When we finally went through the 7 chakras and learned ourselves, went through the levels, however long that take, different strokes, different folks. Everyone's different, but we know when we know. We feel it in our gut because everything begins to click. Everything begins to fall in line when we are finally went through the layers and got rid of all the bad habits the best way we can, and replace them with positive habits and putting the effort in and putting in the action and doing things on purpose, in a divine way. It'll always come back. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But that great divine, gives us tools and things we need, but it always depends on us, how we are at that core. It's always going to come back to that core. I don't care how many times we hear it. because I've been there. I know what it's like to be lost and unaware and just willy-nilly walking through life. I could admit I did some of that in my younger days, but I had little pockets of wisdom here and there because I did hang with I was mostly around people, those that were a little older than me, but sometimes I didn't listen. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. So, and we learn from those experiences, mistakes as brother, sister, family. And that's why we are the lighthouses today in the middle of all this chaos and this technology. And it's going so fast. As I heard a great brother say recently, are we advancing or are we getting our souls snatched? So again, when the last time have we checked our soul? That's why you always hear me say we have to do a human invoice and a spiritual invoice every so often, just to keep ourselves updated in our mind, master one's emotions so we don't get triggered, we don't be trauma bonding, and just stick to natural. Man, mama nature. Cling to mama nature. I'm telling you, that's the best way to go. Then we won't get caught up and get our soul snatched. Real talk. So, and I heard another brother speaking on this, and it's wow, who would have thought, but do the best that we can with what we have, and keep forging forward as a general, and thank those for riding along. Current subscriber, new subscriber, and the same things I get from that great divine that great divine has given me, my family, same things I would like for others. I want all of us to have that divine power, intuition, and be on fire and not get taken in by everything and not triggered by person, place, thing, and stay on point. Be that lighthouse, brothers and sisters. It's the best place to be in the mix of all this chaos, because we always remind us, man, things coming at us at some angles, if not all angles. You have to be in a place of clarity to know that, and we can might not can't, this technology and all this stuff that's coming down the pike. That's why we got to do things now and not wait, not procrastinate. And this for me too, because I used to be a big procrastinator, and that was a challenge for a brother. There's many other challenges, but once we conquer those human challenges, man, then we step into that spiritual and think back of how we used to be if we were, again, everybody's different. Just like, wow, what took so long? Like, man, why didn't I do this before? It's a great feeling, but it takes work. We have to go through all 7 chakras. That's one's theory. I think we have to go through those chakras to get to that deep spiritual part of us, going within our core, period. Because you can't learn shit on the outside, if you're blinded. And, again, we can be inspired by brothers and sisters and family, and we just gotta know who we're listening to and what we're coming in, our psyche. Remember, brothers and sisters, what goes in, what goes out, so we can stay a firm lighthouse in the mix of this so-called storm, and stand bold. Real talk, stand bold, stand firm. Let nothing waver us. Don't give a fuck what it is, Gotta be strong, And there's always a way, there's always a solution, especially if we're in a place of seeking it or them. It will come, Be on this walk for a while. As my grandmother said, may she rest in peace and in power. Keep on living, and we'll see. Stay on this divine walk. We gotta know the art of silence and the art of patience. Those are 2 very vital tools, and mastering one's emotions. I'm telling you, nothing will be able to fuck with us as a general in this life. And that's brother, sister, family, younger or older. And of course, I got a couple of songs. I always gotta play a couple of songs to motivate, because I love music. All kinds, remember. All kinds, I meant to say, I'm stuttering. Jamaican, jazz, African, neo soul, some soft rock. Let me see. A little bit of classical music. I love classical music. I like the instruments and the sound of it. And just creativity overall. But let's stick to that NI, natural intelligence. It's a wonderful thing, because I don't care how much they make these robots in advance and all that shit. Nothing can overcome or beat the human spirit when it's on fire and it's divinely, seriously connected to that divine spirit, deep within, to the bottom of that core. I don't give a damn. Nothing can beat the human spirit. I'm telling you, the human spirit, it can look like everything's finna go wrong, everything go bad, and just within We click in to that spirit with that determination, and nothing can stop us as generals. Again, we have a lot of ancestors and warriors that have shown us the way. We just got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Why you think they coming out with all this technology and shit? Duh. So we can't see that power within, the power within. They say our ancestors got out of slavery. Well, they did physically, but now they're going another route. Now it's an even worse form of slavery, and we got to be aware of these things. Again, I've been under a conditioning. I know what it's like to not be aware of oneself. That's a scary place to be, real talk, especially in these times. Really can't fuck around in these times. It ain't like back in the 80s and, in the late 80s, and it was simple. It was some parts of the 80s, because that was the crack era. But I'm talking about the times where just those pockets of time where life were a little more simple and not as complex and hyperactive as it is now. Because now it's an even more fierce form of slavery, real talk. And if you don't know you're under a spell, man, it's a train wreck waiting to happen. All right, now I want to go in deeper on being the lighthouse in the midst of a storm, in the midst of chaos. And of course, I'll play a couple songs, and forgive me for the background noise you might hear. Sometimes you might hear it. But this is what generals do. We keep forging forward. Let nothing stop us or, distract us from being the best and the greatest part of ourselves. Brother, sister, family. Because doesn't it feel good when one can just breathe? Man, and not carrying a bunch of, internal things that don't belong there. And, we got our physical life somewhat of balance. Because that's the only way to pay attention to things and be aware of our surroundings, person, place, thing, TV, world, social media. If we're in a place of peace and paying attention and being that lighthouse. But we have to be a student of human nature, mama nature, and just explore. Be amazed at what a brother and sister and family will come across in this journey when we step into our higher self. Man, it's the most beautiful thing and the most powerful thing we will ever experience in a brother and sister or family's life, is when we step into that higher power and really see divine things come into play. As I said, my grandmother say, may she rest in peace and in power. She used to always say, keep on living, connect to that God force and keep on living. You'll see it. Synchronicities, deja vu, dreams, etc., etc. And those who are truly connected, and I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about a real God spirit connection. We have seen many things. Some of us have prophesied, and like my son and I, Lord Lamont, we were speaking on. He said he literally saved someone's life off of a premonition, but we got to be in that space of seeing those things. And just my theory and opinion, a lot of us that are locked on to that divine spirit, we're going to beat this thing one way or another. Because one thing about a divine brother or sister or family member, do a little bit of reflection, brothers and sisters. A great divine gave all of us warriors the gift of always finding a way. So just, adapt. Don't get too lost into technology, and do the best we can where we're at. And stay strong and stand firm. Let that great divine, Mama Nature, and that universe do what it do. Because those three forces, they hold the true power, not technology or AI. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Great divine has that power and say overall. Because shut all this shit down. Shake all us off this world like a bad case of fleas. Real talk. So that's where I hold. That's what I follow, that great divine. That's what one is led by, that divine spirit, something that has pulled me through many challenges in this life, as well as my family, many great brothers and sisters out here. The real ones, emphasis on real, in the world, online. They are out there. As I always reiterate, gotta be in those righteous circles to see it. Can't be blinded by porn and artificial shit. And once we get away from the natural and get lost in the superficial and the artificial, and we just lost in it forever, we'll lose ourselves. And as I heard a great brother say, getting our soul snatched and don't even realize it. And nothing is more precious than our soul. I don't give a fuck, so I love my soul. I will fight and die for my soul. Real talk, because as many great brothers and sisters and family, we fought too hard. And I mean hard, not challenging, hard. Some of us, we fought too hard to finally get to a place to be stable and peaceful. Because as my son and I, another thing me and Lord Lamont talked about, coming to a place of peace, it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, we as brothers and sisters and family, if nothing else, we better fight for our soul. I'm serious. It's not a cosmic thing or a devil. Look, whatever we want to call it, you better fight for your soul. Because there's entities out here don't give a fuck about us, our family, or our soul. So you better fight for it, whether you're spiritual or not. Whether you think you're in a spiritual battle or not, doesn't matter. You better fight for your soul. So you better learn something about human nature and that real God force, and not religion and other false ideologies that has been pushed on melanated brothers and sisters and just people in general. Real talk. And go straight to the source, that God force deep within our soul, because that's where everything lies, in the pit of our soul. That's how we become warriors, when we get underneath everything and get to that greatness. Like, man, like I said a few minutes ago, why didn't I do this before? It don't have to be a lifetime, my young brothers and sisters. Real talk. So some of us, it took a lifetime, but we're here, and be thankful. All right, so I'm gonna play a couple songs. And then we're gonna break down the symbology of the lighthouse in the midst of chaos or storm, and stand bold no matter what. It ain't always gotta be aggressive. It don't mean we a gangster or hard. No, it's being true to oneself and not being wavered or bothered by superficial shit. We discuss it, talk about it, observe it, but don't absorb it, brothers and sisters. Stay the humans, natural human beings. Natural intelligence. That's what that great divine made us to be, not no fucking robot. Real talk. Cultivate and protect one's soul. If you ain't learned nothing else from me on this channel, real talk. All right, now I want to get to these songs, and one is Lead Me, Lead You, and one is Nobody Else. I mean, we can't be nobody else but ourselves, and even if we fumble, make a mistake, that's all right. Still be ourselves, because it just feels better, accept our quirks. And like I said on a few podcasts ago, I just woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm weird. Fuck it. I'm weird. I'm not even going to fight it no more. I'm freaking weird sometimes, But I ain't talking about a toxic weird. Just the weird quirks we have, that we grow up with. Sometimes they can be funny. They can be humorous, Gotta learn to laugh at ourselves, too. Most of our greatest philosophers, brother or sister, it's something else, besides the jewels and the information, also laughing at ourselves, That's another indication that we're finally true and accept who we are. So that leads into this song, Nobody Else. We can't be nobody else but ourselves. I'll be back after this.
EBX, generals, family, inside ourselves. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't wanna be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't ever don't wanna be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't ever try to be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Outside ourselves. I'm saluting on. I gotta stay strong. I'm positivity, man, on every song. It vibrating, yeah, all through my bones. I keep it that divine connected in my zone. I never stop, I will always rock. I straight through my soul on this here hip hop. All I see, man, I'm trying to be free. I see my kids and nothing but my family. I'm inside myself. Don't wanna be nobody else.
Let's go.
Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't wanna be nobody else. Deep inside ourselves.
Let's go.
I don't care what those that ever say about me. I do what I want and I flow across these beats. Staying away from the entities that's out here. I don't want us to breathe. I stay me, the only one that I can be. I get to know thee, you can call me E. And there's some wrong things. This is While I sing and I do this and I stay sane. Do stuff to make you smart in your brain. Yeah, do what you do and stay up in on the thing. Never stop and never no give it up. And keep that divine in the soul. Keep looking up. Yeah.
Inside herself.
Inside herself.
Yeah.
Don't ever be nobody else. Yeah. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't ever try to be nobody else. Yeah. Deep inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Keep on going on. Gotta stay strong.
Yeah.
Stay in that great divine zone. Man, we never ever be alone inside ourselves.
Let's go.
Don't ever try to be no one else.
Yeah.
Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Yeah. Don't ever try to be nobody else. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, family, salute.
Real talk. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Man, don't try to be nobody else, because I always say, never forget why we began. Everybody's, their walk is different, but revolution, inspiration, positive word. Never forget what we started doing this for in the first place. That's to remind me too. So, and lead me and I lead you as brother and sister. That's what we're supposed to do. Y'all know I be rhyming. Yeah, and continue being that lighthouse, like my banner here. Just look at that. In the middle, in the mix of everything. Just, lighten up, just ready to lead the way, show others the way. Because, again, always remember our ancestors, those who helped us. It's always someone that helped us. That was a stepping stone to get us to the place we are at, or we are as brother, sister, family. So I always keep that in my soul, and I'll do the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's wonderful when we plant that seed and create nothing but warriors in children, our families, the best way we can. Even those we think not listening, like I said, plant that seed anyway. It'll still get in their subconscious, because everybody actually has a conscience. It's just that some don't listen to it. They try to they do things to override it. But if you have any kind of conscience, it's going to bleed through anything toxic. Eventually, it's going to bother you, because once that great divine got a hold of you, once we come into that truth, as I like to say, what are we or you going to do when that truth comes for you? Because that truth comes for all of us, one way or another. Everybody has their truth, So again, just look in the media. This brother in jail, look at the shit he did. We know who we talking about. It starts with a P and ends with a D. Well, not end with a D, but you know what they call him. It's a P and a D. We know who we talking about. And just, man, brought down the whole damn industry. Real talk. That's almost wonders, like, that's why I say great divine is powerful. It's wonderful how that great divine moves, but you have to be in that space to see how that force moves, how it allows, and how it makes certain things happen. And I'm telling you, I put nothing above that great divine power. I don't give a shit about no damn AI. Great divine sitting up laughing at those who think they're creating something, think they rule the world and all that shit. Great divine just sitting back laughing, letting them do what they do. But those who are connected to that divine force, that force got us. Just watch what happened. Real talk. And we can't be afraid, and great divine, has the great divine ever led up, those that are upright and been here, everything happens for a divine reason. I truly know this in one soul. So again, just think of the great things that great divine has had us plow through, things we thought were impossible. So why would these times be any different? Now, some areas a little weird, maybe some areas a little scary, but stay doing what we've been doing. Don't let this world change us up. No, we stay that lighthouse in the mix of the chaos and or storm. And we do what? Stand bold and just be patient. Just stand firm, and stick with those who are teaching out here, who aren't under a spell. Listen to these brothers and sisters that are real, and do things, because there are those that have platforms that are active in the communities. But again, we can't be all on social media and strolling and porn and all this bullshit. We won't see that, because then when things come, those who just live in a free falling and don't give a fuck, and porn sites and all that shit, I feel sorry for people like that. They're going to be caught off guard. They're going to be fucked. And that's real. But those who are paying attention and have clarity will be somewhat ready. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but if we are ready, we don't have to get ready. So just got to be aware and can't be stupid. There are realities out here. Never ever be in a false sense of reality. What I always say, danger, danger, danger. All right, so let's get to this song, brothers and sisters and family. Lead me and I lead you. Be back after this.
Yeah, EBX, Lord Lamont, yeah, bringing good energy, yeah, a good energy from the great divine. You lead me, I lead you, that's what a brother and sister's supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, that's what family man's supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, that's what brother and sister's supposed to do. The hard time, that's why I do these rhymes. Cause we're living in the world, that great divine design. I keep on moving through, try the best to stay true. I got the love, Lord Lamont do too. We never stop this, man, we see no quit. About reaching hearts, man, fuck making hits. True to the soul, the only way to go. And this is for my family and my sisters and my bros. You lead me, I lead you, and that's what a brother and sister's supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, and that's what family man's supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, and that's what brother and sister's supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, that's what family man's supposed to do. Yeah, everybody are going through something, and yeah, I never be lost with assumptions. I gotta have facts and watch our backs. We all in this, especially blacks. I try to stay strong while I'm in these songs. And man, it's challenging to stay in the divine zone. I watch my children, I am my family, cause that's what I'm born with, deep indeed. I never gonna stop, man, on this hip hop. I'm down with the bottom, mother F the top. I'm trying to see the truth, I wanna make it through. I yell for my family, brothers, sisters, yeah, we can do what we gotta do. I never be lost, a heart up in this life, no time for it soft. A knowledge in my brain, I never go insane. I want all of us to make it while we on this plane. You lead me, I lead you, that's what brothers and sisters supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, and that's what family man's supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, that's what brothers and sisters supposed to do. You lead me, I lead you, that's what family man's supposed to do.
Real talk, brothers and sisters, real talk. That's what brother and sister supposed to do the best way we can. And remember, right where we are, that goes back to letting this social media trick us, and got to keep it real. YouTube can be discouraging, but you got to watch that. Again, we got to be aware of oneself, because if we're not, we're going to be lost. So stay with it. Meditate when we can. Keep rest. Don't get lost. Don't be a hamster on the wheel, as I like to say, waiting for that pellet. Many of us have been there. I've been there. Again, I know what it's like to not be aware of things, walking through life willy-nilly. But it's not too late, but don't wait too late to be that lighthouse in the middle of a storm, brothers and sisters, family. It's a wonderful place to be. But we get to a level and do what? Keep going. The levels never stop. And I'm telling you, the best way to open up that spiritual world, and I'll say from time to time, because this is something I didn't know, and it could be opinion or theory. I'll say again, the best way to tap into that deep spiritual world and be aware of things and how knowledge come to us is to study our chakras. Go through all 7 chakras. And remember, the root chakra and the sacral chakra, and I say the one after that, that's the battlefield. The pit of that soul, that's the freaking battlefield there. That's where everything happens. And I want to give a little side note. Semen retention. That's something I learned too. Semen retention, brothers. You know, I say sisters too, but this is mostly for the brothers. This will help to tap into our mental health and that spiritual health. This will help us balance that. We have to cut off all lusting, and lusting can be attention, money, addictions, habits. We all know social media, being addicted to celebrity gossip, getting lost in politics. Now, we can be aware of certain things in politics and celebs and all that shit, especially if we got children, so we can keep their ear and eyes away from certain shit, but don't get lost in it. Again, observe parts of the world, but don't absorb it. You know, watch what goes in our psyche and what goes out. Remember, just like our 7 chakras, we have 7 senses. Mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel, and our psyche. Those are the most important things in our body, in my opinion, and those 7 chakras. Because if you start studying the chakras, we learn more about ourselves. Then we will step over. I mean, we can't step over into that spiritual world unless we step over into it. You know, literally. You know, saying it is easier said than done. You know, doing it and seeing the results and putting it into action is so much more rewarding. You know, and sometimes it comes in steps, and we have to learn patience, but it will come. We got a right heart and our minds thinking in the right direction. We will become that lighthouse in the middle of this chaos and or storm, and stand bold as a general. Real talk. All right, now let's break down being a lighthouse, the symbology of being a lighthouse. All right. Being a lighthouse metaphorically represents providing guidance, safety, and hope. But I don't like that word hope. Let's say knowing. That my son and I talked about that. Hope seems, I don't know. I just don't like that word hope, you know. All right. Being in a lighthouse metaphorically represents providing guidance, safety, and knowing during difficult or challenging times. You know, like we got these generals out here lighting up the way. You know, we just got to be in the space of seeing what they're doing, you know, and not judging them off likes and views and hits and clicks. You know, let's look at a person's heart. Let's, you know, listen to what a person is saying and learn. You know what I'm saying? Take that positive energy and pass it on to someone else. Like I say when I'm speaking, or Lord Lamont, music, anything. Take whatever you want from this channel that's positive. Please, I beg you, pass it on to someone else, even if it's something small. Remember, the secret to that divine spirit is the victories no one sees. That's the secret, brothers and sisters. So, teach us his own. All right. Metaphorically represents providing guidance, safety, and knowing during difficult and challenging times. It symbolizes strength, divine strength, resilience, and the ability to navigate through challenges. Like I just said, a lighthouse also represents a beacon of light, illuminating the path for other generals, family, brother and sister, younger or older, and acting, emphasis on acting, as a constant, reliable presence. You know, be consistent in his divine walk. Again, even in small spaces. And I'm not just talking about platforms, I'm talking about in life in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I speak on me volunteering from time to time, but I don't make no big deal out of it because I don't do it for that. You know, I do it to connect with the youth, young brother, young sister, and even with the faculty at the school to, you know, to know them and see what they go through. Because we can complain about schools all day long, just one's opinion. But to get the real gist and know what's going on, we got to get our asses on the inside. Now, I would, you know, I would like to volunteer more, but think that great divine that I have volunteered. You know what I'm saying? At least I know. You know what I'm saying? And it's a way of navigating, or let me see, how can I put it? Regulating our children's behavior. I spoke on this before. When we visit these schools, we can regulate our children's behavior just by showing up. Because our presence, like I said, read in that summary, our presence shows we care. Because when we got a divine spirit, we don't have to speak, generals, brothers and sisters. I don't know if that occurred to anybody. You know, some people have. You know, some people do teach that. But I'm just speaking on how powerful, as melanated brothers and sisters, our magnetism is. So, and remember, kids have intuition too. Even if they don't understand it, they can feel things. So with that being said, they can feel when someone cares, even if they're acting out or in behavior. But something I've learned, they respect you and they remember that time you cared. Because I've had kids Like my son's classmates may have misbehaved, maybe even been a little disrespectful. But I see them like on a later date and they say, hey, Ethan's dad, and they cool because they remembered. You know what I mean? So we can start right where we are. The smallest little kindest acts of love and caring and teaching, man, it always come back. You know, we say we put out what we get back. I know we hear that a lot, but when you experience it, it's the truth. So that's why it's important. The energy we carry within ourselves, like I say, don't talk down on ourselves. Don't talk negative about yourself. Carry as less or no stress or negativity at all. Real talk. We could speak on it, discuss it, but do not absorb it. Absorb it. I meant to say, absorb it. You know, so we got to keep that psyche filtered out. Because as I heard a brother say, our psyche is the center. I say universe, but he say universe, but that's not mine. It's somebody else. But it's so very true. What we harbor in our own universe, or as my brother say, universe, is very important. It's more than just sounding smooth or some cliche. Nah, that's real talk. I've been there. Again, I've been there. So a lot of us elders out here, we've been there, done that. Real talk. So a lot of us are not just speaking, we're coming off experiences, and some near death experiences. Real talk. I always said, to be a lighthouse in the mix of this storm and stand bold, I would love to learn from somebody who had a near-death experience. Real talk. I would want to know everything they know. Real talk. So I can pass it on to the youth, family, adults, anyone that wants to be righteous within their soul and learn themselves. Hey, I do whatever I can to help them become a lighthouse in their life and lead the way, brothers and sisters. Again, we got a lot of lighthouses out here. But we got to be in them righteous circles and not be caught up again in this AI shit and porn and all this bullshit. And we got to have spaces to breathe so we can develop clarity. Because clarity don't just come. We have to work on having clarity. Study, research, read, study ourselves. Person, place, thing, family, children. We have to practice on becoming balanced. Joy, fun, happiness, all that stuff. It can all be balanced, But we have to be in that space of clarity. We got to be ready for when it's time to take care of business too. Real talk. It always going to come a point where we're going to have to be a general. Again, the truth comes for all of us. So what are we going to do or you going to do when that truth comes for you? Because it's going to come. It ain't no matter of if. It's a matter of when. But be thankful for those who pick up that truth and became a lighthouse in their life. Because I'm thankful. Our families, brothers and sisters, young or older, even in our children, we got lighthouses all around us. We just got to open our eyes and see it, beyond this robot shit. Real talk. Never, ever forget that we are human, So thank those for coming in. My generals, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view. I thank you and I salute you. And I will always have stuff like this on my banner and, up in the sky, in the water, and sometimes I'll have, stabilized photos, stuff like that on the banner, but you'll always see me on my banners or thumbnails with something in the sky or out of space. And because I do love nature and I do get in it when I can too. So, I might not show any footage and, I be with my kids and stuff. I just don't show a lot of footage. I be having so much fun and enjoying being with my loved ones. Sometimes I forget to record. So, that's how we got to be. We ain't got to record everything anyway. Real talk. Everything doesn't have to be recorded. Again, the secret to connecting to that divine world out there, that divine force, that spiritual world, is the victories no one knows about. You know what I'm saying? Let that great divine show what we doing. Let it come naturally. Natural intelligence. Because I'm telling you, the human mind, when it's on fire and it's righteous, it's the most beautiful, precious thing in the world. I will never take learning stuff and expanding one's mind for granted. And those I have learned from or I gave advice to, it's beautiful, When someone actually takes your advice and incorporate it into their life and they become better. It's wonderful, man. Like, it's a lot of people that help me that don't even know they helped me. Real talk, that propelled me, got me on fire, and they don't even know it. And especially people who don't look to get recognition, because you got a lot of generals, and that's the best kind of general, brother or sister or family, that's just doing what they do as a righteous human being and not looking for recognition. That's why when you do run into a brother or sister or family member that have that aura, because it's natural. again, like I said about parents being at the school, we got to really know how powerful our presence mean to children and how powerful it is. Once we see it and experience it and connect with this youth, it'll make us want to volunteer and do more. So that's just my advice. It's rewarding. It's a very fulfilling thing, and it's good for our immune system. It's good for our soul to just step out and do something positive because we can. Don't cost us a thing, folks. Don't cost us a thing. So again, semen retention, my brothers, you better learn it, and it can help us, because I always reiterate, it was a time I had a challenge with lusting, but once we shave all that shit off and get rid of all that crap, man, you be like, wow, man, it's a beautiful space to be, but it takes work, and we have to study to maintain a place of peace we have gotten to, and so we can keep it. You know what I'm saying? The same thing it took to get a place of peace is the same thing it'll take to keep it. Kind of like relationship, real talk. So, and those who are struggling or going through some kind of challenge and you haven't did nothing heinous or caused no one demise, you just had circumstances in your life, I call down great protection in your life. Brother or sister, family that's going through a struggle right now, may that great divine come in your life and pull you through it, and may we prosper and be that lighthouse, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of a storm, and stand bold as generals. Real talk. Salute.